Hi there, and welcome into the Intrinsic School of Feng Shui monthly virtual newsletter for January 2022. I'm Lisa Alban. I'm the co-founder of the Intrinsic School of Feng Shui, along with my partner in crime, Steve Kodad of the Feng Shui Cure. Now, Steve Kodad isn't going to be joining me today because he's working so diligently behind the scenes to get us geared up for the kickoff of our professional certification program, February 2nd, 2022. It's not too late for you to join us. So stick around after this newsletter and perhaps shoot me an email or Steve an email or give us a call so you can learn a little bit better if maybe perhaps it's a fit for you to join us so you can learn how Feng Shui can enhance your life, your career, and your overall personal happiness, joy, and success. So that being said, Steve and I are so much enjoying the feedback that you've been sending us, your questions, your experiences, the successes you've been experiencing as you implement some of the tips that we've been sharing, that we decided to take it a little bit deeper and start talking to you about Feng Shui Cures. Now, Steve and I both practice Landform School, which is the oldest school of Feng Shui, and also BTB Feng Shui, Black Sect Tibetan Buddhist Feng Shui, which is a more modern westernized form or school of thought. And we find this to be a very powerful combination. We love to share it with our student family as well as our clients. And we're going to share it with you today. These are cures that you can implement by using objects that you can find in right now within your reach. You won't need to go to a store. I promise you they're going to be very relatable, and we're going to back them with science. So that's the way we love to teach. We love to implement the principle, the application, and then back it up with a little data in some way that you can make it a little bit more relatable. Let's get started. I'm going to minimize my window here, take you into a little sample of a presentation that we put together for our students. Now again, we highly regard the cures that are passed down by our teachers and guides and mentors. And what exactly is a cure? It sounds a little nebulous of a thought, but essentially it's just a way to be able to remove something that's harmful, disturbing, or to add something that remedies the problem at hand. And that problem can range from something seen or unseen, something that's felt, or something that is sensed as well. So in Feng Shui, cures are intended to restore. It's intended to restore or remedy the flow of energy in an environment so that it provides appropriate balance, and this balance has a healthy impact on our lives. So using cures, we're able to direct and manipulate energy in a way that's very practical and relatable in many, many cases to help enhance our environments in a way so that they not only reflect and are an extension of our energy, but also so that they're more attracting and welcoming to visitors, to ourselves as we pull in the driveway, to ourselves as we pull our chairs up to work. We are looking to achieve spaces that are conducive to optimal living. Sometimes my presentation gets a little stuck. So we're talking about 5 senses here. What's really, really cool is not only do we talk about the 5 senses, personal senses that we have, human senses that we have, but we talk about the 5 earthly elements. Now, the 5 earthly elements we work with and the type of Feng Shui we practice are fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. Now, the 5 senses can tie along with these Feng Shui principles very easy. Let's talk about odor and emotion. So perhaps think about a whiff of tobacco smoke or a dryer sheet even, or a cologne or perfume that conjures up scenes and emotions from the past. How many of you have a specific scent that really takes you back to a time in your life that hopefully was very enjoyable and pleasant? And conversely, it can happen the other way too. So we want to be really mindful of the environmental scents and aromas that we have, because Our olfactory receptors are directly connected to the limbic system, which is the most ancient, primitive part of our brains. And in this area is the seat of emotion. Odor and sense and the way that we sense and remember these odors is very critical when we're creating environments, especially if we're trying to buy or sell a home. These smells are paramount in our making a decision, or even crucial when we're trying to sell, that we maintain pleasant aromas in our environment. So keep this in mind. If we're living in a home or working in an office where it's important for our comfort and success and productivity to be on the up and up, then we want to make sure that we're mitigating any bad odors right off the bat. A bad odor is going to detract from all of these areas of success that we're looking to cultivate. We respond in an involuntary way to smell due to our wiring, that deep wiring. And that's what's really cool about Feng Shui, is we're able to play into and appeal to those very primitive and deep conscious and unconscious subconscious levels within us. Some facts about smells. A woman's sense of smell is keener than a man's. And if a client is a woman, keep this in mind. If a visitor is a woman, keep this in mind. You want to really be mindful that you're not turning off her sense of smell. No two people smell the same odor in the same way. A rose may smell sweet to some and to others not. So your sense of smell is least acute in the morning hours. The ability to perceive odors increases as the day goes on. So early in the morning, you might be a little bit more confused and only be able to smell your coffee brewing in the other room. That's all you can handle. You don't want to have too many intricate scents going on early in the morning. Just imagine how confusing and overwhelming that may be. Some data on smell. So in an experiment in Las Vegas casinos, the amount of money gambled in a slot machine increased by over 45% when the site was odorized with a pleasant aroma. Very beneficial tool right there. And another study found that we greatly prefer scents that we can identify. Retail research found that customers are 38% more likely to buy an item if they smell oranges or lemons. So citrus smells, easy to recognize, and pleasant to most. Universally perceived pleasant aromas. So there are aromas that continually rate at the top of popularity, and they are vanilla and cinnamon. Citrus smells, they continue to rate highly also, especially when wanting to represent cleanliness to a buyer or to a visitor. So if you want to impress those coming over to your house in a snap and you haven't had a chance to deep clean, just throw out a citrus oil in your diffuser and really freshen it up a bit. It has that perceived depth of cleanliness scent to it. Cinnamon is ranked highly because of memories, just as vanilla. And vanilla is associated with warmth, softness, and caring. Cinnamon causes us to remember grandma's baking and is more yang. So we're talking about yin and yang in Feng Shui a lot, and yang is that awakeness, that brightness, that highly productive, that energizing and conversational energy. That's yang. So using yang scents like cinnamon are going to help you to increase focus. So think about things that wake you up when you're choosing your scents. Again, very easy. Tips for aroma. Be consistent and don't change room to room. Remember, that's too confusing. You're going to want to make it more yang during the waking hours in particular, and when you're going to want to incite more conversation and higher productivity. You want these scents to be easily identified, yet subtle. You don't want it to be overpowering. You don't want someone to have to go outside and take a deep breath. And when you're in your home, you can change the scent from your living environment to your more yin environment, such as a master bedroom. In these areas, you can use things that evoke the scent or the sense of a spa, like lavender. That would be great. Now, bad sounds can also hurt our enjoyment of an environment. No one likes that. It's hard to relax, it's hard to focus, and it's hard to be creative when we keep getting interrupted by noise. So Feng Shui tools like water fountains that trickle and wind chimes softly moving and specific types of music can be really, really helpful. We deep dived a little bit more into the hidden messages of water as it relates to sound, if you can believe it or not, being linked together. You'll find this material in a book written by Dr. Mozart Emotion, and it revolves around the creation of water crystals. So we know humans are mostly water, and we know most of the earth is also water. If it affects water, then we know from this it's more likely to have an effect on us. So if we see in experiments something impacting water, we're going to feel it in ourselves as well in a similar way. So the experiment that we're talking about here is when Dr. Emoto noticed water crystals that were formed in different parts of the world. These crystals were different in different cities. He wanted to see how they reacted differently to sound, and then graduated to seeing how they could react to different types of music. So the results were astounding. We feel they were astounding, and I think you will too. So here's an example of heavy metal music playing on water as it formed into an ice crystal. There you see a little unorganized droplet of water barely forming into anything connected and organized. And it's not the prettiest picture. Now, heavy metal music has a lot going on. How hard is it for these crystals to form into those conditions? So Mozart Symphony number 40. Look at the beautiful crystals formed when listening to Mozart Symphony. Looks very similar to, you guessed it, a snowflake. So here's some more examples. There's a Bach for the G string and Beethovens Pastoral. Beautiful. So you can even see these changes as water crystals were formed playing within different parts within a piece, like Vivaldis' Four Seasons. You see spring, summer, and winter, and fall. And what music can be helpful in creating environments? You guessed it, soft, positive music can do the trick. Anything that's uplifting for you is great. Now, perhaps heavy metal music is uplifting for you. I'm not going to knock that. You know, I like a few heavy metal pieces myself, but think about using that music in terms of creating an environment that's appealing to most. You're going to want to choose a softer, more instrumental, even meditation music is lovely. You can look up your beta beats and chants as well. Those are lovely to have playing softly in any environment. It doesn't need to be loud even to be felt. Use music as a tool to make your space feel special to you, but make it positive and not negative sounding to most. So when we're thinking about creating spaces for open houses or for parties, find pieces that are probably going to be more appealing to most people. Now, those were just scratching the surface and the ideas of cures, but we hope that it's inspired you to walk away today and implement some scents and some music within your own space and see how it impacts your lifestyle, your living and working environments. And we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your stories. We'd love to hear which music you've chosen and selected as you're working or as you're winding down from your day. And we would love to hear which scent you choose. So reach out to myself, Lisa Alban, or Steve Kodad. And again, we're available for 20-minute discovery calls as we're gearing up and enrolling currently for our February 2nd, 2002 kickoff of the professional certification training. It's been a sincere joy to visit you again with this virtual newsletter. We are loving them. Please keep your suggestions and ideas coming to us, and I thank you for your time in listening to us, and I look forward to connecting with you. You can reach out to us at office@intrinsicschooloffengshui.com. We'll see you next time. That's many blessings, and may the chi be with you.